thoughts on Kagurabachi up to chapter 22. Firstly, I'd like to say I still think it's kind of similar to JJK in the sense that the art style uses a ton of black, there's a ton of gore, it's pretty bloody, and the fact that, again, they have sorcery, right? They use magic. So just based off that, I'd still say it's still kind of similar to JJK up to where it is right now. Aside from that, I just finished the kind of mini arc against Sojo, so let's get into it. The one thing I think is pretty cool about Kagurabachi so far is the fight scenes. There's so many pages where their characters are just kind of flying in the air and you see like their foot, like the perspective shots of the fighting scenes I think are really interesting. Not only that, they're so like quick paced and fast as well, which is kind of new for me since I don't read a lot of like fighting action based manga. So yeah, I think definitely the composition of the fights along with the sequencing and paneling is definitely a huge highlight of Kagurabachi. I also think the art style is very unique in the sense that it seems very like sketchy at times as well. There's not a ton of detail in some of the pages. Like look at some of the pages like, oh yeah, that's definitely like a weekly thing, or he didn't spend that much time on it. Not that it's a bad thing necessarily, it's just seems very rushed in the art style sometimes. But that's also a big reason I'm not super into like weekly shonen manga, and that's because they rush the mangaka on the panels and you get really amazing panels sometimes, and then other times you get these really like kind of like below mid panels, stuff that could have had way more detail but they were rushed into it. But I don't think that necessarily affects the quality of the story, it's just the quality of the art style kind of deteriorates in some panels. Now for characters, I feel like they throw a lot of characters at you at once, which I feel like is kind of a bit of an issue. Perfect example, introducing the Kabunabi on top of like 4-5 other characters prior to that. I just feel like it's so many different characters to look at and to pay attention to within 22 chapters. Finally, I will say the fight with Sojo was phenomenal. And I think the fighting scenes are like a big highlight. The dynamicness and the action that is evoked from these paneling is like so good. Coming into this manga, I didn't have crazy high expectations considering it's such a popular manga. I assumed it'd be very similar to the hype around JJK and like a solo leveling type of thing. And if you didn't already know, I'm not a big fan of JJK or solo leveling. Up to chapter 22, I know it's like super early, a lot of people kept saying that. I'd still give it about like a 7, maybe like a 6.5 rating so far. Again, nothing too crazy, but I do think, again, the fighting scenes are definitely going to be a highlight of this manga so far. Let me know what you guys think. Have you read Kagurabachi up to this point so far? How do you like it?